Tonight we begin with the Battle of New Jersey as P.J. Carlesimo and his troops invade Rutgers. Seton Hall has gotten strong backcourt play from freshman Terry DeHare and junior college transfer Oliver Taylor. The Scarlet Knights are sporting a new look this season behind flashy point guard Earl Duncan, while fellow Syracuse transfer Keith Hughes has made a definite impression on the inside. Will the Knights rule the Garden State this season?
Welcome to a sold-out Lewis Brown Athletic Center on the campus of Rutgers University, the State University of New Jersey, as the Scarlet Knights host the Pirates of Seton Hall. We have some irony in today's game because Seton Hall, out of the Big East, will face a couple of guys for Rutgers who used to play in the Big East who are very tough.
Earl Duncan and Keith Hughes both sat out last season. So far this year, Duncan has been more consistent and leads the club in assists. Keith Hughes leads his club in rebounding, but has struggled with consistency. Good one game, bad the next.
Now for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And at the other guard, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan.
That's right, the same type of atmosphere here tonight, John. Excitement, a sea of red. I'm on the edge of my seat, and we just got started.
Seton Hall controls the tip. Oliver Taylor is the point guard for Seton Hall. There was some question whether he'd start. He has a bad ankle. DeHare is not shy. He bombs away early. Earl Duncan will also put it up, and he knocks down a three-pointer to start the game. He had a very strong game against Wake Forest early. He was the one who was really keeping Seton Hall in the game, as they actually led for most of it.
Got tremendous quickness. Both he and DeHare have the green light.
Duncan works on DeHare and hits it.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Terry DeHare. Duncan is a big, strong, physical guard. Boy, but how about the poise of the Pirates thus far? They haven't been rattled.
Avent along the baseline doesn't hit anything.
Until maybe then.
Earl Duncan for three, just like that. There's the pressure again. Earl Duncan with 8 points in the game already, averaging 14 on the season.
9-0 run in the last 3.5 minutes for the Hall. Nice point, nice time to get Dickinson in the game. The Hall with a decent lead.
They call a foul on Taylor, it looks like. Dickinson was trying to get over there to help, got over a little late.
Taylor couldn't believe it was on him. Here's the penetration. Duncan, again, he's such a physical guard. When he gets there in traffic, he's strong enough to finish it off. And Taylor picks up the foul, and Art McDonald whistled it, counted, and he has a chance for three.
Duncan has 10 of Rutgers' 21 points in the game thus far, the transfer from Syracuse. Hammers down to convert it. And then he decided to transfer, actually left Syracuse in February. They say he looks great one night, and then the next night he just can't get it together. And the layoff is probably a big factor. Stolen away nicely by Carter. Duncan, among a bunch of blue jerseys, still bangs it off the glass.
He clearly wasn't squared up on that one. Little trick shot by Duncan.
Earl Duncan with 13 points and gets the crowd roaring once again. Earl Duncan checks back into the game.
And when you're 7-2, if you're in good position and use your hands, you can make a difference.
Charge is called on DeHare. They turn it over. Duncan was in there with position. Number 1 foul, the first on Terry DeHare, the freshman.
Ground level coming right at you. Ooh, Duncan moving a little bit, but he was in excellent defensive position that time.
Well, Duncan might have got the benefit of the doubt there. His feet looked like they were still moving a little bit.
Rutgers at this point, though, still staying into the game, but the big factor is number 3, the transfer from Syracuse.
Earl Duncan, a strong guard. Here he's going to show you what strength can do for you inside. Penetration, able to get the ball up on the glass and draw the foul. He's been the only double-digit scorer for Rutgers.
Here's a guy who has been a top three-point shooter in the history ever since they put the three-point line in there. He was one of their leading scorers last year. Duncan with a nice turnaround.
Well, the Scarlet Knights come out, knocking down some perimeter shots. P.J. going to try to just slow it up just a bit with one of his key players out of the lineup.
Cooper loses the dribble. And Rutgers comes away with it. Duncan throws it back out to Savage, who bangs down the three-pointer.
Well, that's a great look by Duncan to penetrate and then look back to a good three-point shooter in Savage.
Wolsey with a nice cut, but the shot won't go. It might be also a little bit early to go to that three-pointer. There's still over 5 minutes left, and there they are, bombs away. Savage that time. I mean, Rutgers, as Duncan takes the three-point shot, they're operating as if there's a minute and a half left in the game.
Clearly, they're looking for the three-pointer too much. Again, after the ball's been moved, and you've got a good spot up on take it, but they're not even looking to probe inside for anything else. They're just casting away the three.
Rutgers has missed 7 consecutive shots. It's been about 4 minutes since they've scored. Time will run out. Runs out on the Scarlet Knights. And Seton Hall has won it 79-74.
Bob Wenzel has brought hoop hysteria back to Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights got the right bounces in an emotional Atlantic 10 tournament championship last year. Newcomer Earl Duncan has loftier goals this season.
ESPN's coverage of college basketball's backyard battles continues tonight from Jadwin Gym in Princeton, New Jersey, as the Tigers of Princeton play host to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 96th renewal of this great rivalry between two schools just 13 miles apart. Rutgers won the meeting between these two schools last year at home, but it's a different Scarlet Knights club this year because the two Syracuse transfers, Keith Hughes and Earl Duncan, are in the lineup.
Well, those two guys are averaging 30 points between them, but nonetheless, they're still struggling to find themselves with new teammates, and also they sat out last year, so still a little rusty from that year layoff.
And their new teammates are still adjusting to them.
At guard, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan. At guard, a 6...
Now let's see if the Scarlet Knights can get a good shot attempt up in their half-court offense. The turnovers have prevented them from doing that.
This is only their 4th shot attempt, and Duncan hits for 2 to tie the game at 4.
Well, he had a pretty strong game the other night against Seton Hall, but got a little winded, and he's a physical player at 6'3", about 205, 210. When the game is physical and up and down, he can get a little winded out front.
Baseline shot, too strong, an air ball cleared by Perry. Rutgers came into this basketball game averaging 75 points per game. They scored 17 in the first half, and Bob Wenzel's team leaves the floor trailing Pete Carrill's Princeton Tigers 21-17. Miller one-on-one on Duckett, had it blocked from behind by Hughes. A rare fast break for the Scarlet Knights, and Duncan converts. It's now a 3-point game. Princeton leads 28-25.
Boy, excellent decision that time by Duncan. Under very good control, got it into the lane and just pulled up with a nice on-balance jump. Good defense often can lead to good offense. There you see the help side block by Hughes. Now the excellent decision by Earl Duncan in transition for the little pull-up J. You know, when they knock down the perimeter shot, it really makes it tough to defend them because then the backdoor lanes are more open.
Duncan forced it inside, and Hughes there again. We'll take a break with 11:52 to play. Princeton leads by 5. Five seconds left. Miller fouled again. This time Earl Duncan hit him.
See, right now, Keith Hughes is trying to go over the top on the lob to Kit Miller. I think, see, Hughes is going to try to go over the top. See that? I think Hughes can play behind Miller. Miller's going to try to roll that little hook into the lane, but play behind him and then get some help from over the top, because otherwise what's happened the last 2 possessions.
Point lead for the Tigers of Princeton with 9:50 to play. This is the biggest lead of the game for Princeton. Earl Duncan in the lane, yes.
Shake and bake on him, Earl. Oh, nice little individual move that time by Duncan.
Earl Duncan. And now Carter. They are in the backcourt. Jones, Hughes, and Savage, the front line for the Scarlet Knights. Duncan stopped in traffic and was fouled.
Boy, Duncan showed you some of his strength there as he got into the lane. Really didn't have an opening, but strong enough with the basketball to hang on to it as he was fouled.
And the lead is back to 5 for Princeton, and time running out on Rutgers. 2:47 to play.
Rutgers needs to get quick shots, but they need to be good quick shots.
Duncan for 3.
Can't get it much better than that. Quick and good.
Carter to Duncan. A hold called on Doyle. Doyle came rushing at him because he knows Duncan is a good three-point shooter. And Duncan took it down and tried to drive around him, and Doyle had to grab him.
Earl Duncan on the line for Rutgers.
Duncan, an 89% free thrower. Look at Mike Jones. Boy, he's done a nice job defensively. Rutgers now needs good defense, no foul, and possession.
Leftwich had trouble on the dribble, was double teamed and fouled by Duncan. 4 on Duncan to go along with the 4 on Hughes and the 4 on Savage.
Boy, tough break here. They've got him doubled right on the sideline. It's almost like a 3-man trap now. And I've yet to see the foul on Duncan.
Datica calling out a play. They don't have much time to set up. They have to attack, trailing by 5 with 26 seconds left now. Duncan got fouled as he took the 3. And Henshin looked at the official, Jim Potter, and said, "Ooh, I can't believe you called that foul," but he did, and it's a big one as Duncan goes to the line for 2, and Henshin has his 3rd personal.
Here we take a look at it. Duncan working himself free. Ooh, must have been a touch. Must have been the fingernail.
It looked like he might have hit him on the left arm, the non-shooting arm for Earl Duncan. Clark mentioned a moment ago, Duncan is an excellent free throw shooter. That time he didn't make a liar out of us.
Rutgers now, if they can get this second shot to go in, they'll pressure immediately and then would have to foul almost immediately if they don't come up with the steal on the inbound.
Duncan the miss, lapping the rebound. Datica knocked him down 1-on-1 immediately. With the miss, rebound batted around. That's it. Princeton wins. The Battle of New Jersey goes to Princeton. 65-60 the final.
We are courtside for what I consider the game of the tournament because these two teams, Rutgers and Hawaii, match up with each other so well. When you talk about Rutgers, you have to talk about Earl Duncan, Mr. Outside. You have to talk about Keith Hughes, Mr. Inside. Tom Savage also helps out inside. But the Rainbows match up very well.
I think the Rainbows match up real well, and I think this will be a great ball game, Jim. Vincent Smalls will guard Keith Hughes. I'm excited about this matchup. Vincent Smalls is the defender for Hawaii. He's the guy who likes the challenge. This is a big challenge for him. And then you have Troy Bowe. Troy has got to play against Earl Duncan. Both about 205 pounds. Troy's only 5'10". Duncan about 6'3". But both of those guys will battle real tough.
4-0 Rainbows. Rutgers will bring it back. Earl Duncan had 23 points against Virginia Tech and dealt 7 assists. He was 2 for 3 in three-pointers. Smalls hooks it away to Bowe behind the back pass, too cute, but it goes off the back of Duncan.
Tough situation for Troy. Wasn't sure he could outrun Duncan, so he tried to throw it behind the back to Houston. It went off Duncan's foot. Be real interesting to see how Duncan can perform. Remember last night he hurt that knee. You see it heavily bandaged.
Savage also an outstanding player on the boards underneath. This is Duncan. Duncan spinning move on Bowe. Chip to the ball by Bowe. They call a foul on him.
Nice move by Earl Duncan. You see in the replay a nice reverse dribble. Comes up. Troy gets ball but gets head also. Good call by the official. Duncan will go to the line for 2 free throws.
So Earl Duncan at the free throw line, 24 for 30, 80%. Averages 14.4. Second on the club in scoring. Hughes leads 18.9. Shot not good. Rutgers yet to register a point. 17:43 left to play in the first half. Duncan, an excellent shooter. This one rattles out. Duncan brings it back for Rutgers.
Duncan goes by Bo, gets into the lane, puts it up and in. Duncan, look out, he gets hot. He can lead Rutgers back in a hurry. First 2 points for Duncan. Here comes Rutgers. Duncan. Great pass under the Duckett, up and in. Duncan. Duncan with the assist, Duckett with the hoop.
Missed defensive assignment by the Rainbows. Duncan made the Rainbows pay.
Goes to Datica. Rutgers running. Duncan underneath.
Good fast break, Rutgers. Duncan got the ball, strong body, just held his position, went up for a very easy lay-in.
Duncan against Lott. Falls down, but it goes to Jones, and Jones puts it in. Good quick move by Mike Jones. Looking at Duncan now. He has that hurt knee, and he went down hard. He seems to be okay.
Look at the scores for Rutgers. Duncan and Hughes, they had trouble in the first half with their consistency.
Well, Earl Duncan is a solid ball player. I think his knee is really bothering him. He doesn't appear as quick as he did last night.
Perry got a hand on it that time.
And you know, it's interesting. Troy Bowe is looking at his finger. He's having a little problem with his fingers right now. It may have been jammed when he went up for that lay-in.
And let's see. Duncan apparently got elbowed by Bowe.
Well, it was one of those situations where Troy got the ball and just did a pivot. You can see him now in the replay. Troy has the ball. Oh, Troy has the ball. Hey, Troy has the ball. Hey, Troy has the ball. Oh, Troy had the elbow out there protecting himself, protecting the ball. And it was in what is considered a normal motion, but I can tell you what, Troy had the elbow cocked.
That was not pretty at all. Smalls with the rebound, triggers it back out to Gaines.
Good patience by the Rainbows, smart patience, but great steal by Earl Duncan.
Duncan stealing the ball away from Bowe.
Sports Channel America presents college basketball tonight from the Meadowlands in New Jersey. It's the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame versus the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Rutgers has a couple of terrific players too. Transfers from Syracuse in Earl Duncan, a backline player, a McDonald's All-American out of Los Angeles, and Keith Hughes, a 6'8" power forward who came from nearby Carteret, New Jersey. Both didn't feel they got the playing time they wanted at Syracuse. They've transferred to Rutgers, looking to get more push in the offense. And there's Earl Duncan. He was a McDonald's All-American out of St. Monica's High School in Los Angeles.
He didn't come to meet the ball.
Did not meet the ball, and Duncan looks to take it the distance, kicks it down court, and driving hard to the basket is Keith Hughes with the first points of the night for the Scarlet Knights. Everson, the big guy, has a problem with the handle, but gets it back, goes to Duncan, who's back in the game. And Duncan, 6'3", 205-pound Earl Duncan, with good quickness to the basket, brings the Scarlet Knights back to within a point. He'd like it back now, but Duncan moving in on Jameer Jackson. It'll go, and there was a foul on the play. So Earl Duncan will go to the line. He's been an effective point guard in a turnover ratio.
Faster the pace of the game, Don, the better game Duncan is going to play. His assist to ratio, turnover ratio is very, very good.
He's been with 60 assists and just 24 turnovers.
Yep, he wants to distribute a little too much, and there are times when he should be shooting that basketball instead of passing it off, because he's got a lot of experience, and he's a very, very fine point guard. Look at all the room they're giving Notre Dame's perimeter shooters. They aren't even challenging Frederick.
Steal by Duncan. He's quick, leads to Hughes, and Keith Hughes takes it hard to the basket, and he gets it down for the Scarlet Knights. They've tied the game and can take the lead as Hughes goes to the line.
Hey, now what? Look at where four players standing right in the 3-second lane, right there. Exactly what we were saying. They stripped him. They filled the lanes. Nice bounce pass. Hughes should have really used his left hand right there, Don.
Duncan.
I was wondering if they were going to do that, Don. I thought that was a good matchup for Rutgers. They had Joe Frederick trying to guard Duncan, and I was really anxious, first of all, to see if he was going to play one-on-one with him. Secondly, if he wasn't, was he going to take him down inside and post him up? Because I think it would be very difficult for Joe Frederick to guard Duncan if he took him inside and posted him.
Earl Duncan goes to the line, averaging 11.7 points a game. He hoisted a three-point shot at the buzzer the other night to win for Rutgers. Beat the Iron Dukes of Duquesne 70-67 on a 35-foot shot by Duncan. You know this guy's heading into the paint. Duncan likes it inside, and he gets the roll. Strong with the dribble, strong in the air. Duncan, they say he's 205. He was 205. Duncan, big, strong point guard, looking to head in. Watch him go. There he goes. That's not a palm. There's never been one. But they get a foul call on Notre Dame. It's amazing how that rule has changed. It used to be you'd bring your hand to the side of the ball, and they call you for a ball violation. Now guys do pick it up from underneath on their dribble.
Watch there. See, right there when he turned it over with the left hand. That's what he should be doing more of. They should be putting him in a position where he can just get himself in a one-on-one game and start going to that basket a little bit more. They have really struggled. I'm saying I'm talking about Rutgers, and that's what Bob Wenzel was afraid of. He said, we just have to execute better. Watch, there it is. There it is. Now, I guess you were right if that's not a turnover. You've never seen one. Nice going, Hippengar. That's terrific.
Notre Dame working against the Rutgers press. Here's a steal by Duncan inside to Hughes, and Rutgers is right back in it.
Right there, right it now. See, we got trapped right in the corner. Back to the court. There's a great move by Duncan right there. What a great rotation on the press. And he snuck right up. And see, Tim Singleton caught the ball, Don. He trapped himself right down in the corner, which means he had the defensive man on him. He had the sideline. Because he's made himself a very good free throw shooter just by hard work and practice.
Duncan working hard inside, and a couple of victory laps, and then it goes down for him, and Rutgers is back to within 4. Here's Duncan. He's got one place he's headed for, and that's to the hoop. And tough Earl Duncan off the bounce makes it work. And again, the Scarlet Knights cut the Notre Dame lead to 4, 64-60, with 1:35 to play in the game.
That's exactly what I was saying, Don, that he should have been doing a lot earlier in this basketball game. He's isolating himself a little bit. That young man has some great one-on-one moves to the basket, but he just doesn't take the advantage of it as much as I think he should. And even if he's not going to score by dribbling and penetrating, he's going to open up the other people like Ellis is doing for Robinson and for Jackson and for Frederick.
Here is Duncan pulling up on Jameer Jackson, forces a shot way up to clear as LaFonso Ellis. Danica fighting for the ball. Let's see what the call is.
That was a bad three-point shot by Duncan right there, Don. They know what they have to do, but you just can't fire reckless shots up because there's still 1:17 to go, and with the three-point play, that is an eternity, and you know that. You've got to play under control. That's better.
Duncan, he'll take it one-on-one. It becomes a one-man game when he's got that ball down the stretch one. It's 66-62 here. Notre Dame again is up by 6, and here goes Duncan. Rutgers is going to force this right down to the final horn, though. They're down by 5, and Duncan looking to cut it to 4, which he does. Does not go. Rebound comes down, though, to Jackson. He's fouled by Earl Duncan with 21 seconds to go. Nigger Phelps not jubilant in victory at this point. There's deliberate foul calls, and that's what will be the call there, so Jackson goes to the line. He'll get 2 shots. Monty Williams, who holds the ball. And that's going to do it, and Notre Dame will win 74-69.
At Rutgers, a pair of newcomers are trying to fine-tune the mix. Transfers Earl Duncan, a 6'3" junior guard, and Keith Hughes, a 6'8" forward, are trying to help the Scarlet Knights back into the NCAA tournament. Earl Duncan to Rick Datica. Changing the guard lineup now for Rutgers.
Now Hughes will take him one-on-one. He loves to go one-on-one on people.
Hughes back to Duncan. Duncan at the circle, the shot good. Earl Duncan picks up his first points of the game.
And that's under control basketball. Earl Duncan makes 2 power dribbles to the basket, doesn't over-penetrate, pulls up and hits the jumper. We've seen every time down, Bruce Parkhill's doing a real nice job changing up defense, and Rutgers has to recognize and get the right shot.
Duncan suddenly going for a 3 and hitting it. Earl Duncan nails the 3 from out top. He has 5 points, and it's a 4-point lead to Penn State.
And a real good decision again. They pushed the ball down hard on the right side. Duncan did not force it. Wide open. He can shoot the basketball and he can drive to the hoop.
And he will shoot the 3. He's 18 for 46 from 3-point territory. Just a shade under 40%. Not all that bad from out there.
And what Rutgers done now is extended that zone because Freddie Barnes is hitting from the outside. And there's over penetration and a bad pass.
Here they come out on the break. Earl Duncan's going to take it to the bucket and up softly with the left hand and gets it. He has 7 points, and we've got a tie game.
A real nice athletic move by Earl Duncan as he used his body, shield off the Penn State defender, and used the left. Rutgers like to spread it out. Earl Duncan would be tough when you're playing man-to-man and you're spreading the floor. He's got the basketball.
19 on the shot clock, a minute 2 left and a half. Jennings out covering Duncan. Now they switch up the offense a bit.
They're spreading it out one-on-one.
Is it a charge or a block? It's a charge. He's had a couple. Craig Carter got one, and now Earl Duncan one. And the Knights give the ball back to Penn State with 52 seconds left in the half.
That was not a good decision by Earl Duncan. It was a one-on-one move. Jennings, good defense here. He's using the left arm just to push the Penn State defender off. If he could have pulled up and hit the jumper, he over-penetrated.
Tom Everson is in the lineup now for Rutgers. Datica, Earl Duncan, they leave him alone from 3-point range, and he sticks it. Earl Duncan has 10.
Earl Duncan gathered himself in. He looked at the floor. He had plenty of time. Good penetration by Datica to get Duncan open. Duncan nails it.
Mike Jones, the dish to Duncan. Lost the handle on it, but it's off of Penn State out of bounds. It'll still be Rutgers basketball. The Knights just caught a break.
Yeah, Duncan again maybe over-penetrated. He could have stopped and had the jumper. Again, he's under control. A couple of times he's been out of control in the first half, but right now he's doing a good job handling the basketball.
Scarlet Knight basketball.
I'll tell you, they are pushing and shoving inside. It's fun to watch with this aggressive play.
Look at where the offense. Everybody's set above the circle. They clear it for Duncan, and he takes the drive and makes it.
And that was a set play by Bob Wenzel's Rutgers Scarlet Knights as they try to isolate Duncan on a drive by bringing all 4 players up high.
Rutgers leading by 2, both teams with 2 timeouts. Earl Duncan now. 58 seconds left in the game. 40 on the shot clock.
And I think the crowd feels better when the ball's in the hands of Earl Duncan right now. They got to give the ball back to him.
Freddie Barnes with him. 30 on the shot clock. Duncan picks up the dribble. The ball deflected by Jennings. He couldn't quite come up with a steal.
Well, what happens there when Earl Duncan has to pick the basketball up, the other 4 Rutgers players have to make themselves available as Rick Datica will check back in the lineup.
Now let's see if Jones jumps out of bounds again. He does. Datica throws it to him out of bounds. Now they try to get it back in. Oh, they were close to a 5-second count. 8 seconds left in the game and a foul. Charge of Monroe Brown. He got Earl Duncan. And Duncan, a 75% free throw shooter, will go to the line. And it's going to be a 1-and-1. With 7 seconds left in the game. Here's the play. They had thrown the ball from Datica to Jones. Now, if that's a spot throw-in after the foul, it's a baseline violation.
Right.
And as Penn State's basketball, with 10 seconds on the clock, they put the 3 seconds back on. Penn State now 2 points down with 10 seconds to play. Inbounds, the ball knocked loose. Penn State ball. And it comes Freddie Barnes. Duncan on him tight at 3-point range. Wild shot, misses. And Hughes with a rebound calls timeout.
Barnes is there to try to get over the top pass if they throw it to Duncan or Jones.
Datica will throw long and intercepted. Fogle from midcourt. This would win it for Penn State. It's on the rim and doesn't go. Oh, Fogle got it on the rim, and that would have won the ball game for Penn State. It would have been a three-point goal, and I will tell you that he gave it a shot.
And now it is unanimous around the country. All the polls rate Missouri up on top. The Tigers take the floor this evening knowing they are the top team in the nation for the first time in 8 years. It hasn't happened since 1982. And Missouri has won 26 games in a row at home, as tonight they play host to the Atlantic 10 Scarlet Knights of Rutgers.
The guard, a 6'3" junior, number 3, Earl Duncan.
Foot pass, Earl Duncan looking one way, passing the other, and Rutgers not intimidated at all so far.
Earl Duncan does a real nice job here as he catches the basketball. Watch how he spins, waits until McIntyre clears so he doesn't dribble. Then McIntyre trying to come over and help. Doug Smith went to pick up Duncan, wasn't there for Perry. Perry lays it in.
Earl Duncan looks bigger than 6'3", and he hits from downtown Columbia. His first three. He's a 40% shooter, and it's 13-6. That is the third Tiger to pass the head coach on the scoring list this year. And Rutgers is now 7 of 7 from the floor. On top to Duncan. Way up in the corner of the Hearn Center as we look down, and Duncan penetrates down to the baseline. Earl Duncan off to a fast start with 8 points.
Duncan comes in with the reputation as a big-time guard, and he's shown it so far. Shows you the kind of versatility that Anthony Peeler has. He's been playing an inside guy, but now with that substitution, he's going to guard Duncan.
And Duncan so quick on the baseline. Nice work after receiving the pass, and he has 10.
Make him shoot that three-pointer.
Boy, Duncan's having a great night so far. That's 12 for the 6'3" junior out of L.A.
That's one way to keep Peeler occupied. Keep taking the ball at him when he's on defense.
A lot of folks thought he would go back out west after leaving Syracuse, but he went from Syracuse to Jersey. And aren't they glad he did? Button the rebound, and he can't hit. And then Peeler tried to steal. Running is Mike Jones. Duncan in for 2.
That's 6 of 7 now for Duncan from the floor. He's having a big basketball game.
We'll check his scoring. I've got him for 14. Coleman keeps it alive. Nothing there for him. And the Knights with Duncan come away with it.
The longer Rutgers hangs in this game, Bob, the more confidence they get. And Missouri looks like they're in for a real dogfight here.
We're going to have one official overruling another here. Dick Paparo will call an offensive foul, a defensive foul on Jamal Coleman. It was to be an offensive foul on the first whistle.
Well, the ruling to be that the contact by Coleman occurs before Duncan runs in. Here comes Duncan with the basketball. You see Jamal Coleman. Coleman is going to reach in right there. He's called for the push before Duncan runs into Sutton. No question that Sutton has the position, but the call by the official is that hand of Coleman on Earl Duncan's hip.
Earl Duncan with his 14th point of the night.
Duncan doing a nice job. He's penetrated by people all evening long.
Rutgers down by 3, but I would have to think very pleased to be in this position.
Watch Doug Smith matched up against Everson. He's playing off of him, really doing a good job helping out.
Datica for Duncan. Quick dribble in the paint, and Lumpkin waits for a 2. 5 for Donnell Lumpkin tonight, and a 1-point Missouri lead.
Great penetration by Duncan makes that play go.
Tigers by 3. 5 seconds left. Duncan with it. Too strong and over the glass with time expiring in a scintillating first half here in Columbia. The Tigers get a huge first half from John McIntyre with 16, Anthony Peeler with 14, most of them early, but the Scarlet Knights are right in the ballgame.
Rutgers, probably their only chance in this basketball game was to create a perimeter game, and that's what they've done defensively. They've gotten a real good first half from a couple people. Earl Duncan has done a nice job penetrating inside. You see Duncan here on the penetration. Bunton has to pick him up, and that leaves Keith Hughes wide open. Hughes, playing center for Rutgers, has 5 3-point baskets. The Scarlet Knights really forcing the ball game to the perimeter. Running through the zone, coming back out on the baseline. That's something that 2-3 zone is not designed to handle. That is cowered down inside.
Nice turnaround. Earl Duncan with 17 this evening. 4 over his average already. Jones into the paint. McIntyre all over him. Got his own. Loose ball somehow finds Duncan 30 feet away. And he penetrates to score. He's their go-to man tonight. Duncan got it back from Perry. Now he penetrates. Double pumps, and what a move. Earl Duncan with 21.
Duncan and Hughes answering the call right there. Rutgers down 10. Now they've cut it back to 6.
Earl Duncan with 21 already tonight at the line after the foul by McIntyre.
It's amazing the way Rutgers just keeps hanging in the basketball game. Every time it looks like Missouri's taking control, Duncan hits a big free. Duncan hits a big shot. Hughes hits a big shot. It's just been a tremendous effort by the Scarlet Knights.
23 for Earl Duncan. 2-point game again.
And you can just see the Rutgers players, their confidence level rising once again.
Entry pass, McIntyre to Smith. We had a whistle. Looks like they're pointing at Earl Duncan, who hurt his wrist on the play.
He's got that wrist taped coming in, and he really looks like he's in pain. At the end of the game, you give the ball to your horses. Here's Smith, what strength, getting that ball up through about 4 hands there, very nearly rolling it in.
They cannot afford to lose Duncan for the rest of this game. Rutgers has 2 more timeouts to use tonight.
Missouri's run off 7 in a row, Bob.
Duncan into the lane, and Earl Duncan, sore wrist and all, has 25 points tonight.
And those 7 in a row that they've run off have been with Duncan out of the basketball game. With Duncan back in, he answers immediately. He's been doing that all evening.
Easy rebound for Lee Perry. Here comes Duncan for Smith. Got the roll. Darrell Smith has 5. Knights know they're still in it, down by only 3 as the clock runs by 2:50 remaining.
Duncan once again, Bob, he didn't get the hoop on that one, but he did the penetration, made the pass.
Well, Duncan had 71 assists coming into the game, and averaging 31 minutes per outing, only turns the ball over 2 times per game.
He's really put on a show this evening.
Missouri by 6. 1:30 remaining. And Duncan answers. 28 for Earl Duncan.
Boy, what an effort by Rutgers. Every time you think they're dead, here they come again.
Clock running. Duncan for 3. Short. And the game is over. Missouri 89, Rutgers 84, but what a great effort by the Knights on the road in Columbia.
It's something, Bob, that we certainly didn't expect. The Scarlet Knights doing a tremendous job. You mentioned they're down 2 of their regular players and still able to come in on the home court of the #1 team in the country and put on a display like that. Great effort by Rutgers.
Welcome now to the Lewis Brown Athletic Center in Piscataway, where this afternoon in Atlantic 10 action, it's West Virginia and Rutgers. The kids here call it the Rack, and the Rack is rocking as we get set to play some basketball. Bob Wenzel came in, took over last year, took a new team to the NCAA. They're in the thick of it today also, and they are playing with different personnel.
All year they're talking about chemistry, and with Duncan and Keith Hughes, 2 transfers from Syracuse, they're getting that chemistry. Earl Duncan's just playing terrific, shooting 61% from the floor the last 2 weeks, over 50%. His ratio of assists to turnovers is just incredible. The kid's doing it all, and Bobby Wenzel needs him against West Virginia.
At one guard, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, number 3, Earl Duncan.
He does not want to play West Virginia man-to-man. He respects Gail Catlin's offense.
Duncan working against Berger, stops, fires the jumper, and nails it.
And there's Duncan. Confident Earl Duncan, one-on-one, good power move. Taller than Berger, backed him in for the basket.
McGinnis to Carter, to Duncan, fake, takes it to the circle, pops the jump shot off the heel of the rim, and the rebound to West Virginia. Beckton, and they got a player down. Duncan is down and hurt, and at the other end, Tracy Shelton makes the easy layup for his first 2 points. Duncan playing with that heavily wrapped left knee, and he is hobbling as he comes off the court, but it may be the other leg.
Well, he is hurting, and it really hurts the Rutgers' chances here. Earl Duncan, as we said earlier, playing extremely well the last 2 weeks, and he's going out, and it looks like his right ankle.
He has the left knee taped, and now his right ankle hurt. Rick Danica replaces him, and the crowd here at Rutgers suddenly rising to their feet to urge their ball club on. They're down by 5. Earl Duncan sitting on the bench with that right ankle being worked on. They've got it wrapped in ice, it looks, over there.
And Danica has come in for him and has replaced him and done a nice job, but he can't go the whole stretch of the game. They have to get him ready for some minutes this afternoon.
But Duncan's got his shoe off with ice on it. He doesn't look like he's going to be back for a while anyway. That's the ankle of Earl Duncan. That is not good news for Rutgers. He's been on the bench with ice on that ankle and his shoe off for some time, and obviously not very happy about it. He's had to leave this game, and it doesn't look like he's going to be back. He still has that shoe off over there. So Rutgers has lost one of their starting guards to injury in this ball game. Earl Duncan now has a cane.
That's not a good sign. Is Earl Duncan going to the locker room with a cane? I don't think you're going to see him much this afternoon. Real good effort by Rutgers as they kept the ball alive. Mike Jones, Lee Perry, and there's you see Duncan going to the locker room. It's not the left knee, it's the right ankle as you see the ice on there, and I don't think he'll be back at all, Fred.
Duncan sprained his right ankle. We have been informed he will not return, and we didn't think he would. There he is. You saw him going off at the end of the first half, leaning on that cane. It's not the left knee that you see all bandaged that took him out of the game. It's a right ankle.
If he returned, he'd be Superman after the way he was going into the locker room.
Barring a quick trip to Lourdes, he's not going to be back to play this afternoon. You mentioned Earl Duncan. There he is in his street clothes.
Well, Bob Wenzel's got to be ecstatic the way Rutgers has played without that man. Now he's got to worry about it tomorrow. How long will Earl Duncan be out of the lineup with that right ankle? Excuse me, the right ankle, yeah, with the ice.
Junior, 6 feet, 3 inches tall from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan. And out the other.
But Strickland has to take that shot. If they don't want their 2 big guys double teamed, someone else has to shoot.
Earl Duncan buries it from about 22 feet. That's his first 3 points of the game, and Rutgers back on top by 1.
And that's the Earl Duncan of Syracuse University fame, where he started 14 games his freshman year. But apparently, Coach Boeheim couldn't keep him happy up there. He transferred.
Earl Duncan averaging 14 points and 3 rebounds a game this year for Rutgers. He had 20 a few nights ago against St. Bonaventure. Right now the betting is when he breaks the mark, not if but when, are they going to stop the game and give him the ball. Oh, nice pass underneath from Duncan to Hughes in midair. He laid it in.
And that's the other end of the Syracuse connection, Hughes.
Perry has 4 rebounds on the night for the Scarlet Knights. Hodge has 3. 3-point shot is good as gold by Earl Duncan.
3-point basket by Rutgers, number 3.
He's 2 for 2 from 3-point land, and Rutgers with a 1-point lead again.
But again, so
the odd man out. Mark Macon takes the shot. Good defense by Rutgers, and Macon was way off, and here comes Duncan. He'll pull up and take it. In and out and in again. Earl Duncan's got 8 on the night, and Rutgers has the lead by 5.
Duncan takes a seat, and Sean Randolph, 6'5" junior from Saginaw, Michigan, comes in, and Rutgers answers with a basket from Earl Duncan.
And usually against that zone, you can't go one-on-one that deep against the Temple zone. That time Duncan got right down into the lane.
You can see John Shaney's Temple club a little bit more successful inside in the paint. And as I say that, Earl Duncan makes a quick liar out of me as he drives down the lane, puts up a running one-hander. Had a quite a roll at the end of the year and ended up in the NCAA tournament. Harden's three-point shot no. Duncan gets it up quickly and launches a bomb of his own. That's his third three-pointer of the night.
And he casually looked at the referee to see if Jim Burr was going to call a and one on it.
Harry has it. Duncan pushes it up past Bacon, and Duncan may have been guilty of an offensive foul.
Well, Duncan didn't need to put the mustard on the hot dog. All he had to do was deliver the basketball. The three-point shooter is open right now, and he brings it in and then pass it over. That pass could have been made about 3 dribbles before.
Duncan with a little bit too much shaking and bacon.
What he told
no.
John Chaney put his head down, said, I didn't tell him that.
Meanwhile, Earl Duncan drives the length of the floor and lays it in, and Rutgers is back within 5.
And that time they cleared out the whole right side of the court, and Rutgers didn't respond.
Trying to answer is Duncan with a three-pointer. Perry with 2 tough rebounds, and he is hacked from behind. Kilgore will get the foul.
And Coach Wetzel looked out at Duncan, and Duncan right away ran over the referee and said, I got hit on the elbow, I got hit on the elbow.
No. Well, shot selection at times has been a problem for that man's team. Tell you, if Temple hits their foul shots, they're going to win this game, plain and simple. But if that happens, Rutgers has got a chance. Duncan from three-point land, it's good.
That's a three-point basket.
That's his 4th bomb of the night.
Sports Marketing presents the 1990 Pepsi Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament quarterfinals. Today, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights take on the Rhode Island Rams. For Rutgers, Earl Duncan's emerged from the pack with a brilliant floor game and a 50% shooting percentage. The Scarlet Knights' inside game's in the capable hands of 6'8" junior Keith Hughes, who doubled as the leading scorer and rebounder.
2 key players for Rutgers this year are Keith Hughes and Earl Duncan. They both sat on the bench watching the game last year, transfers from Syracuse. Keith Hughes can do it inside, the leading scorer, leading rebounder. Earl Duncan can distribute the basketball, and he can also score. Rhode Island has to be concerned what Earl Duncan does with the basketball.
For Rutgers, a junior, 6 feet 3 inches tall from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan. At a guard for Rhode Island.
Now back in front, Duncan's going to go for 3. Got it. Good start for Rutgers. The Knights up 5-0.
Earl Duncan gets the nice roll on the polyester rim. He likes to shoot the three-point shot. He averages 14 points on the year.
Hughes fires way cross court to Duncan. Duncan made a lot of moves and then pulled up and drilled a 3.
He made a lot of moves, Fred, but he didn't go anywhere with it. A couple of head fakes, a couple dribbles between the legs, but he set up the 3. His second 3, 6 points.
I think he got that move from Michael Jordan's Come Fly With Me tape. Kind of little Ali shuffle. Rebounded by Rutgers. Carmel Lumpkin to Duncan. Duncan lost a handle on it. Easterling got a hand on him. Now there's Easterling on the run out. Lumpkin goes after him and can't catch up.
And Duncan is hurt down at the other end. I don't know if he twisted his ankle or what, but he's coming up limping, and that would hurt. I think he's a little upset. I think he wanted a foul call first.
Easterling has 5. Let's take a look at it here.
Earl Duncan's a little bit out of control. There's the double team. They stepped on his foot. It looked like either Leslie or Easterling.
Duncan's had problems with an ankle this year.
There you go. That ankle, turn.
Standing on it right there. He's had ankle problems before this year. Earl Duncan has reported to the scorer's table. He'll replace Datica if Datica makes this free throw. And he does. So Duncan comes in the game. For some reason, Earl Duncan wasn't on the floor at the start of the second half. He wasn't out of the dressing room.
He looks a little on his ankle. He hurt his ankle the first thing. I think he's a little hurt in the second half here.
8:50 to play. Danica, Duncan, Lumpkin, Hughes. Duncan, a fake, takes Leslie in the lane and takes an acrobatic shot and hits it. Earl Duncan with his 8th point of the day.
Earl Duncan did it all by himself, drove past the 2-3 zone, and there's another turnover. No, it's slapped out on Rutgers, but Duncan did it all by himself, going right through the middle of that 2-3 zone.
Bob Wenzel working in the Rutgers huddle. The basket for Brown, his 7th point of the day, to go with a half dozen rebounds. Rhode Island out. Bob Wenzel now sends Rutgers out. 10 seconds to play. They have to come the length of the court. But they have the outside shooters in there. Jones, Duncan, Lumpkin, Datica, and Hughes. They can all shoot it with great range. Full court pressure. And it comes. Mike Jones on the dribble at midcourt to Duncan. 3 seconds left. Duncan in the lane. Left hands it. Gets it. 1 second left. Rutgers has won it.
Well, that is a money shot. Earl Duncan, a one-on-one move. They had it planned. Mike Jones, the freshman, said, "I'll give it up to you, Earl. You do it." He used a little Earl Monroe spin move and went right to the basket. What a nice move. Earl Duncan just breaks his man down one-on-one. There's the pass. He's just going to go. There's the big spin move, a little bit of a hook. Now he goes over the leading shot blocker in the country. He just can't get to it. They win by 1, 80-79.
Look at Bob Wenzel. Yes, it is postseason tournament time, and the Rutgers fans celebrate in the Palestra. Rick Danica.
And what a finish here in Game 2 of the quarterfinal round of the Pepsi Atlantic 10 postseason tournament as Earl Duncan, with time running out in the final 2 seconds, makes a layup to send Rutgers into semifinal action tomorrow night here at the Palestra in Philadelphia. 80-79. The Scarlet Knights are the winners. Rutgers showed balance in its quarterfinal win against Rhode Island. Keith Hughes soared for 17 points, and reserve guard Rick Danica drained 5 of 7 threes. But the hero with time running out was Earl Duncan. With no place to go but the hoop, Duncan's final second layup sent the Knights racing towards a possible second straight conference championship. But Rutgers and Temple have seen a lot of each other recently. This is the 3rd meeting between these two teams in less than 3 weeks. 2nd meeting in 4 days, and they'll do it again. At stake this time is a spot in the championship final of the Pepsi Atlantic 10 tournament.
For Rutgers, a junior, 6 feet 3 inches tall from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan.
Donald Hodge looks like a big kid that came on the playground and got in the wrong game right now, doesn't he? Round up Duncan.
Temple zone stretched out. They're trying to take the jump shots away.
Duncan came up short. Temple on a 17-point run. Up by 14 right now. Duncan blocked by Hodge. Here comes Rutgers, though. Duncan pulls up and can't get it. Duncan for 3 off the target. And Randolph takes the rebound. Temple still on the boards.
That was good ball movement, though, by Rutgers there. Duncan got the wide-open three-point shot. He knocked it down at a 41% clip on the air. Just couldn't get that one to go. Duncan 0 for 5 in the contest.
Duncan. Oh, nice move. The shot is no good. Rebounding, position. Duncan, position with the line. Missed. Oh, he just can't buy a basket. Earl Duncan has come out of the ball game for Rutgers. He's 0 for 8. And Bob Wenzel has taken him out of the game and put Darrell Smith in.
Look what number 3 has for Rutgers. Only 1 point. Earl Duncan. That's been a big factor. Earl Duncan, who averages 14 points, has only 1 in this semifinal game in the Atlantic 10.
He's 0 for 8 from the floor and hasn't taken a shot in a long, long time.
Rutgers is undefeated in NIT home games and looking to take the final step to the Garden. Syracuse transfer Keith Hughes has led the Scarlet Knights in 9 statistical categories. Tonight, his team faces a familiar foe, Atlantic 10 rival Penn State. Spruce Park Hills Nittany Lions closed out the season in the friendly confines of Rec Hall. But tonight they must play in Rutgers RAC, where they haven't won since '87.
Okay, Chris, tonight in IT quarterfinal action, and you're right, the RAC is jumping. Penn State Nittany Lions in town to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And what about the home team, the Scarlet Knights? Well, the two guys that actually lead them didn't start school here wearing the Scarlet Knight colors, but they are here now. They play a lot and they play well.
Well, the two Syracuse transfer students, we have one, Earl Duncan, a great penetrator. He only made all third team in the Atlantic 10 this year, and he wants to prove the coaches wrong. The other guy, Keith Hughes, you have to stop him. He's taken more shots this year than Penn State's two leading scorers.
This road to the NIT quarterfinals. First round, they defeated Marquette by 3. Second round, one of them Maryland by 2. And for Rutgers, first round, win over Holy Cross 87-78, and they defeated Fordham 81-74.
And at the guards, number 3, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, Earl Duncan.
Penn State starting off with a hot hand, 3 of 4. Nice no-look pass, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Scarlet Knights. As Duncan trying to whip it inside to Keith Hughes.
Earl has a bad ankle. He's had it for the last half of the season. When he doesn't get a lot of rest between games, he has trouble penetrating. And we see the foul right there. And when he doesn't penetrate, Rutgers isn't a great offensive team.
Fogel's first foul, team foul number 3 on the Nittany Lions. 14-3. They're on top.
Penn State shuffles into a man-to-man from the out of bounds. A change of passing lanes.
Duncan for 3, got it. Now that's a way to take you out of the doldrums and also add it up in a hurry.
And he was the big man with the bad ankle against Fordham. Fordham played a great ball game, and Duncan was probably the difference. Of course, when you pressure out, it allows the guards to penetrate. And Penn State's guards, the one thing they do well is penetrate. We saw it there with the pushed-out defense.
Just inside the 3-point line, it's a 2. Duncan would love to have had it been a 3, but you can see his right foot on the 19.9 line.
He's been consistent. 23 times he scored in double figures this year for Rutgers.
He's tied at 23, just over 6 to play. Earl Duncan, junior from Los Angeles, at the line, and he is the wrong person to foul out there right now. He is an 81% free throw shooter.
His nickname should be Money when he gets on that line.
And it happens every time. As soon as you compliment them. He had a great game against Missouri. 28 points, 8 assists, and had no turnovers.
One has to remember he did play for Syracuse, so he's going to miss a few foul shots.
This way too hard. Perry with the rebound. Duncan on the 3-point line. It's a 2. 32-27. Largest lead of the night by Rutgers. Just under 7 to play. Rutgers by a single point.
Give a little man-to-man look now. They haven't seen it for the last 7 minutes. And you can see Rutgers has to pull out and try to get organized.
Last time they did it for 1 series down the floor, just inside 3-point. Crowd wants 3, but it's 2 by Duncan.
Earl Duncan says, I know how to take the man-to-man.
And the last time Penn State did that, in the very next trip down the court, they were back in the zone.
Yeah, they don't want to stay man-to-man too long. Earl Duncan's eyes light up.
Well, you can see the game clock. Under a minute and a half to play. It's a 4-point Penn State lead. Duncan way outside. Good heavens, it's a 22, 23-footer.
He's a takeover type guy, Duncan. He plays his best when the game's on the line. Now they can't foul.
Duncan with the spin move, not there, tipped, and Penn State has the rebound. Monroe Brown got it, and a foul in the backcourt. The Nittany Lions will go to the free throw line with 3 seconds left.
They had their money guy with the ball, Earl Duncan. He can penetrate and shoot the jumper better than anybody on Syracuse's team. It's too tough to get the ball to Keith Hughes in a short amount of time.
Three-pointer on the way, no good. Mike Jones put up the three, and the Penn State Nittany Lions will head to Madison Square Garden.
And welcome, everyone, to the Lewis Brown Athletic Center here in Piscataway, New Jersey, on the campus of Rutgers University, where tonight the Missouri Tigers, ranked 23rd in the country, are set to open their season, as are the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. On the other side for Rutgers, smaller but quicker, Hughes, Smith, Weiler, Duncan, and Carter. Hughes and Duncan, of course, the two who transferred in tandem from Syracuse to Rutgers, had big years last year. And both of them had big games against Missouri when they played last year. The freshman Crudup comes up shooting, and Duncan's got the rebound. 4-on-3 Rutgers break. Duncan. Here's Carter, leaving it behind Hughes, tracked down by Smith. Duncan.
If Missouri is able to keep the ball out of the paint, then his perimeter shooting really becomes essential for Rutgers.
Duncan turns it over. Mike. The lead stays at 5 as Duncan skips into the forecourt. It's Savage, Duncan, and Carter out there. They're just going to circle that three-point line.
They'll give Duncan an opportunity to clear out and just go one-on-one.
Nice look by Duncan there. 8 minutes. Missouri wants time. 11:29 to go first half. They are loving it in Piscataway, New Jersey. Rutgers by 8. Smith's doing a great job in the defensive end. Duncan, the pull-up. Got it.
You know, people look at Earl Duncan and they talk about he's carrying a little extra weight. He's got the kind of body that will allow him to play well at 210, 215. He's a little beyond that now, but he's a talented scorer.
Lamont Frazier just in and bags a bucket, but Smith answers with authority.
10 conference tournament.
He's trying to flex that left ankle over on the bench right now. Duncan comes up and nails it. Second basket by Earl Duncan.
See, that's just strength, able to go inside and still be able to get your shot through some contact. This is the clear out. This is the spread that they'll run with Earl Duncan. Get everybody else out and let him go to work one-on-one.
And he throws it away.
He's still able to go out on the floor and put it down and get to the hoop.
Earl Duncan. Crudup cut him off, and he found Hughes. Hughes needed a bucket like that, Clark.
His team needed a bucket like that. Excellent penetration and find by Earl Duncan. Wet spot, and Earl Duncan took a terrible fall there. He and Reggie Smith both.
Well, Duncan is really trying to shake it off out around half court.
Well, that just looked like it hurt. Here we'll see it. Duncan, number 3 in white. Smith down first, and then Duncan just bends that left knee underneath. Ooh.
Earl wasn't made to do splits like that. And Earl Duncan will go out. Earl Duncan back. And Craig Carter will sit down.
Duncan had bone spurs removed from his ankle this summer and is playing with a little extra weight as a result of having to be laid up in his rehabilitation and recovery period. Rutgers content to milk the clock. Probably will go through their spread. Missouri in a man-to-man. Duncan able to create here.
Oh, good look. Jones got free. And Duncan found him. The play of the night as far as Rutgers is concerned. 59-55, 90 seconds to go here in New Jersey.
59-55, Rutgers by 4. Earl Duncan with the biggest play of the young season, Clark.
This will make you scream and holler here. Watch the look off by Earl Duncan. People moving. He's going to shake and bake a bit. Now he's going to find Mike Jones, number 24. He's going to look to his left, but a bullet pass to the wide open Jones inside. Doesn't get any sweeter than that, Mike.
And Earl Duncan fouled immediately by Lamont Frazier. 22 seconds to go in the game. Chemistry is something of a problem, plus a very tough schedule. They finished the year 18 and 17, but right now feel they are making a statement, knocking off Missouri, ranked 23rd in the country.
One of those credibility wins, and it removes the stigma of being over on national TV, as Craig Carter reminded me earlier.
Comes in to Duncan. Couldn't get it ahead quick enough. They would have had an easy two. The streak of opening night wins about to come to an end here, and Duncan will be at the free throw line. Don't forget Sports Center immediately following this game. Full night of NBA action. Lots of college basketball tonight. Rulings coming down from the NFL. They will have it all. Only 6 points for Duncan tonight. He's played well.
He has played pretty well. He's made some big plays. That one pass to Jones. Highlight film material there.
Frazier again, picked off by Hughes underneath. And the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers have opened their season with an upset of nationally ranked Missouri, 68-60. Start in the backcourt. Earl Duncan has a sprained ankle. He will play today, but he will not start. Rutgers, the only unbeaten Atlantic 10 team left, and their best start since 1982. Pete Carrill into his bench a little earlier than he might like as Eastwood sits down with 3. And here comes Earl Duncan in the lineup first time. Bob Wenzel goes to his bench. Earl Duncan for 3.
Gotta get the fans here off their seat.
And get the roll. Nearly tipped by Marquardt. Picked off the floor by Carter. Over to Duncan. Duncan, a little too tricky, and he lost it to Jackson. 2-on-1 Princeton break. Nice feed. Leftwich can't get it down. Out of bounds. Off Duncan. Good call. And Bobby Wenzel. Rebound. Jones does a nice job of keeping the dribble alive and comes out of there himself. And another turnover by Rutgers. These empty trips are going to haunt this team before the day is through.
See, what I think is happening, Mike, is Rutgers is slowing down too much. They're not really pushing the ball forward, and as a result, they're turning it over.
6.5 to go first half, and Princeton still holding on to the lead. They're up by 1. Craig Carter looks to answer. Duncan launches one.
Like the little penetration, the pseudo penetration. Beat your man by 1 step and find a teammate for the open jump shot.
And the rack comes alive here at Rutgers. Leftwich left open. Long with the jump shot. Hughes made him change it. Here comes Duncan. Rutgers can get to 1 or tie with a 3. Oh, picked off by Jackson. Again, a careless trip for Rutgers.
And really with this unit, this is not Rutgers' best defensive team. You can throw Mike Jones in there.
Hughes flashing through, gets his own rebound, won't go. Tipped long, back to Duncan, stolen by Jackson, foul on Duncan. And you won't say this too often, but a Princeton player out-quicked the Rutgers player to the ball there.
Well, I think Duncan was just waiting for the ball to come back to him instead of attacking the basketball.
And we've got a timeout, 11:54 to go. Bobby Wenzel not happy. He shouldn't be. He's down 6. Under 8 minutes to go in the game as Princeton continues to eat the clock every time they get possession. Duncan trying to make the move on Jackson, just powers his way in. Short with the jumper. Dabs there for the follow.
I like the play by Duncan, though. He's strong enough to back in. He just needs to make sure he's under control, ready to pass as well as shoot once he gets into the paint.
With 6:15 to go, down 8.
What I think Rutgers has to do now is just try to put it on the floor and get to the basket. Try to draw some fouls. Try to stretch this game out. Because if they don't get to the free throw line and stop the clock, this game is going to be over in about 10 minutes.
Right, before they realize it is. Duncan's little turnaround goes down. Duncan with 10. Princeton nowhere near over the limit, though, and the foul was called before Duncan got the shot off. Earl just catches and fires. Rebound by Eastwood.
Duncan has really struggled with his shot coming into today's game, only shooting 28% from the floor. Hasn't done much to improve that here today.
Duncan trying to dish it off, finds Hughes for 2. And as we count it down now, as we hit the 35-second clock, we've got a foul on the drive. It's going to put Earl Duncan on the line. Might have been Sean Jackson who committed that. Weiler comes in and Dabbs goes out. A very depressed Rutgers bench. Unable to get much, if anything, going. Keith Hughes checks out. Hughes unofficially sits down with 9.
How about this crowd, the rack? They usually get a workout when they show up. They'll have to go jump on the Stairmaster to get a sweat. Princeton kept them out of it just about for the duration.
Duncan makes his free throws.
Hall in Philadelphia. The Owls of Temple take on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. The Knights are beginning to heal up a little bit. They're going to get Duncan back at a guard spot tonight.
Well, Earl Duncan missed the last 5 out of 6 games. He played some against Delaware. He's coming back. They said he's about 80% ready. They need him tonight to penetrate the zone, that matchup zone of Temple. And when he penetrates, they need the outside shooting of Donnell Lumpkin.
A senior, 6 feet, 4 inches tall from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan.
Get pass to start the attack right there. Jones to Duncan. Duncan got in 28 minutes in the Knights' last game after missing 5 of those 6 contests with the ankle. Duncan kicks it down in the corner. Lumpkin lets one go and gets a 3 from the deep corner. And what a start now for Rutgers, a start they needed, Ed.
And what they did is Earl Duncan showed the penetration. 2 Temple players covered him. Lumpkin wide open in the outside.
Here's Duncan will handle the inbounds pass to Carter. Carter's really slimmed up, it looks like.
I think Earl Duncan got the weight.
Handled it off. Duncan from way above the circle now, and that one's good. A 3 for Duncan.
And that's a good move by Earl Duncan. Remember, he's been hurt, ankle and foot problems, so it looks like he put on a little extra pounds not being able to practice, but right there, he's got to shoot the basketball from outside. In the defense of Rutgers, you can just tell that Earl Duncan is not with it. He looks like he's limping with the way he's dribbling the basketball. He's not as quick with his ankle and foot injury as he normally is.
Duncan for 3. Earl Duncan hits his second 3-point field goal of the night. Earl Duncan will go to the line. He has 6 points tonight. A 6'4" senior from Los Angeles, transfer from Syracuse. He and Hughes transferred together from Syracuse.
And since they come here, last year they had some chemistry problems, definitely, and he just got going at the Atlantic 10 tournament. This year, just with the injuries, if they can stay healthy in practice, you'll have a good ball club in a few weeks.
8 points now for Duncan. Temple by 15 with 1:10 left in the first half. Again, Rutgers got it off to a great start tonight. They jumped out to a 10-2 lead. Donnell Lumpkin knocked down the first shot of the game, a 3-point try. But after 10-2, Temple took off, and it's been all Temple.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Earl Duncan can't get it off. Earl Duncan can't get it off. Earl Duncan can't get it off.
Now commits the third. We have 17:48 left in this game. Well, Duncan's about to lose his trunks.
I think he should pull those pants up a little bit.
Thank God the shirt tail's out.
From the deep corner, Darrell Smith, and he got a 3.
Because he lost the lace on that pitch.
No.
This is for family entertainment.
48-33 Temple. We almost saw something very unusual. We almost saw a player lose his trunks. Now the lob stolen by Dabbs. He tried to throw a long lob to Strickland, and Dabbs picked it off. Duncan will shoot it over Karstarpen and get it.
Excellent anticipation by Dabbs to steal the basketball. There was a good transition basket, which is probably good, so Temple can't set up that zone. Rutgers pushing the ball up the floor.
I gotta tell you, I'm concerned about Duncan's trunks.
I'll tell you what, the lace or the string in the middle must have broken. I told you put on some weight, but now he's wearing extra large pants, I guess.
Oh.
He wasn't going to talk to him. Now he's talking to him.
Now he's animatedly talking to him, and Duncan banks one in for three-point range.
I don't know if I heard him call banker right there, but he threw it up, and they'll take any kind of points they can get right now, Rutgers, as you see.
Now Duncan coming right back in the Rutgers lineup. It's an 18-point game at the moment. Well, Duncan almost didn't report.
Earl Duncan is definitely playing on one foot. He's limping a lot of times. He's not as quick with the basketball as he normally is.
He's had the ankle and foot problem and missed 5 of the last 5 out of 6 games. Team Downs. Hughes, Duncan. Oh, great feed. Great feed to Smith from Duncan.
Great look by Earl Duncan. He looked his man off and found Darrell Smith wide open.
70-52 Temple with 7:54 to play. 5 assists tonight for Earl Duncan. They're going to have to get the shooting over the zone, and they haven't been able to get it. Now a shot blocked in there by Dabson. Oh, great spin move by Duncan. And he gives it up. At the other end, the basket good by Darrell Smith, and Duncan made the play.
And that's real nice. Earl Duncan playing on one foot. I mean, he loves to go up and down the floor. As you saw, the great quickness and the real good ball handling. He can push the basketball up the floor. As we'll see Duncan pushing it up. You see he's limping a little bit. Great spin move to go by Macon. Sees his teammate wide open up front, and Darrell Smith gets the chance for 3 points.
Strickland committed his 4th foul. Did you see the look he was giving Duncan there? Like, hey, I thought you had a bad foot. How'd you make that move?
Oh, Earl Duncan, obviously a great player, just can't get it going right now with the one foot. The other foot, he's limping all over the floor.
Athletic and Convocation Center on the Notre Dame campus, the Fighting Irish are back home tonight to entertain the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers.
From Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan. And
well, you can tell right now, Ted, that the Irish are falling way back inside to stop him from pounding it inside to Dabbs and Hughes.
Oh, Bennett got a hand on it, but Hughes picked up the loose ball, and Keith Hughes hits it.
See, that's what Duncan can do for you. He had the broken ankle, then had the ankle in a cast. That was an unbelievably great pass inside.
Duncan for 3. Wow. Now, it's hard to believe, Jim. You look at the stat sheet, you see Earl Duncan's only shooting 29%. That just isn't right.
Yeah, shooting 30% from three-point range and only 29%. That's a good overplay.
And that's interesting, Jim, because it goes against everything Digger said he was going to do the last month, which was really slow tempo down.
You bet. But they're on a roll right now.
Oh,
nice entry pass.
Hughes. Oh, it's 7-3, Rutgers.
You talk about Duncan controlling an offense. That ball is in his hands every possession.
Of course, Duncan and Hughes both originally played at Syracuse as freshmen. They played a lot, and there's a ball.
Notre Dame's going to stay in that zone, Ted. I mean, they're going to stay in that zone and force Rutgers to hit from outside. And if they do miss, they haven't got anybody even close to that board generally to rebound.
Oh, Duncan from way out, and nothing but net. And Duncan with a little smile on his face as he nailed that one. Jones back in with Lumpkin and Duncan. Dabbs. And there's a 3 for Duncan. His third three of the game. He has 9 points, and Rutgers has the lead. Duncan has big-time range.
I'll tell you one thing, he's not bashful.
They say he's only about 80% of himself.
Yep. I asked Bob that before, and he said, Jim, I think he's more than 80, because that's what I was told, that he was about 80%. You know, he broke the foot in May, and then he had a sprain to get in December and had to put it back in a cast.
It has been an offensive drought here for the Irish of mammoth proportions. Notre Dame has gone 8 minutes now without a field goal. Meanwhile, Rutgers keeps knocking down foul shots. That's 9 straight. Finally missed one, but 9 consecutive free throws during a stretch where Notre Dame hasn't had a field goal. And Notre Dame elects not to use the final timeout in what would be a sort of a hopeless situation. Duncan gets fouled there by Boyer at 6 seconds remaining. But the player of this game will be Keith Hughes. Even though he has not had to go to the foul line here down the stretch, he got all of the big points for Rutgers when the game turned. And Hughes will end with, which looks like will end with 25, 17 second-half points.
And you will notice, Ted, we talked about the fact that the first few possessions in the second half, it was obvious that Bob Wenzel had told them that we've got to get our leading scorer back in this basketball game.
Right, and that they did. Duncan offensively has not been a major factor. He had 3 threes and a couple of foul shots, but it was Hughes. Big points inside. And Boyer missing, and Rutgers walks away with the win. And Notre Dame's 3-game winning streak comes to an end as Rutgers wins by 10. We'll come back to wrap it up at Notre Dame right after these messages.
Welcome back to the Shark Tank in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the running Rebels of UNLV continue to roll along. Now the only undefeated team in Division 1A college basketball. Today meeting the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Rutgers coming in with a 6th straight win. UNLV, on the other hand, has won 28 in a row. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. When you talk about coming to Nevada to play these running Rebels, you really don't know what in the world you're going to do. So if you want to be the coach of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, what would you do? Dick Vitale is in the Rutgers locker room playing coach. Here's what he's got to say.
Keith, I love playing the role of a coach. Hey, let me tell you something. The first 2 things must happen against UNLV. Number 1, you better not be intimidated. And number 2, you better have talent. But now let's talk about the elements of the game. The first thing that's important against UNLV, you better protect the rock, protect the basketball, and have a guy that doesn't turn it over. That's going to be the job of Earl Duncan.
I see an early trend here, Keith. I don't see the Rutgers kids backing down at all against Jerry's kids.
Oh, I don't think they will. I think the comment made a moment ago by Bob Wenzel is they're taking this for what it is. It's an adventure.
6 in a row. They're coming off a big win in their conference, blowing out Temple Friday night. Duncan has got to start to give him some productivity. Duncan's been very quiet.
Dab takes it in.
Excellent 2-man play. They're really driving the ball right at UNLV and dumping it to the open man.
It's a 6-point ball game.
They're not intimidated. They got a good basketball team, Rutgers. They got excellent talent.
They just stole the ball again. And Gray scores it, and the foul call looked like Duncan got him.
They just do so much with their defense. It causes so many easy baskets.
Well, they had it down to 6 points 2 minutes ago, and now it's back to 13. Anderson Hunt getting his first personal foul will send Duncan to the line. Earl Duncan, 6'4", 205. He's a block.
Remember when UCLA had the Sidney Wicks, Curtis Rowe routine? I love John Wooden's quote the other day in the paper. He said, I liked our chances. I like our chances against UNLV with Lewis in the middle or Big Bill in the middle because they don't have a dominating center, and he's 100% correct. Most teams have 2 options. If you negate their first option, play their second tough, you got a chchance to win. Where do you start with Vegas?
Now 16 points. Back
tackled with a good defensive move, but Rutgers keeps it. Duncan shoots it and scores 3.
Earl Duncan played at Syracuse. He's one of the guys that said bye-bye to Syracuse and Jim Boeheim. Darrell Smith, 13, Keith Hughes with 10, but we don't find Earl Duncan, who only had 5, and Duncan is a very important player to Rutgers.
First basket of the game for George Ackle. Duncan forces.
Duncan's having a tough night.
Anderson Hunt.
There's Anderson Hunt. Talk about Earl Duncan. There was so much in the way of expectations last year. They returned everyone from a team that went to the NCAA tournament, won the Atlantic 10 championship. They added Hughes and Duncan, and they really struggled until the latter part of the season, and then ultimately got into the NIT and finished with an 18-17 mark.
Duncan got it. 3.
Earl Duncan started at Syracuse for about 4 or 5 games along with Sherman Douglas. Then he went to the Pine, and Matt Rowe beat him out. It's amazing. Now Rowe is transferred, playing at Maryland, and here's Duncan playing at Rutgers. The finals in the West will be over at the Kingdome in Seattle.
.345 to play in the ball game. 104-61. Duncan now has moved up to 9 points. And he'll be going to the line, 2 out of 15 from the field. But he has been on the line, and he has just simply had no reward for what he's been doing. That's the key man, the man at the point for Rutgers, and they have shut the door on him, too.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome inside the Rutgers Athletic Center this afternoon. It's the University of Massachusetts against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Thanks to a West Virginia win over Temple, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights have fate in their own hands. They're 2 wins away from the Atlantic 10 title, but an ankle injury to standout Keith Hughes could hobble the Knights in the stretch run. Meanwhile, senior Earl Duncan is on a late season tear, averaging 24 points in the last 5 games.
And at the other guard, a 6'4" senior from Los Angeles, California, number 3, Earl Duncan.
Inside to Williams. Hughes with the rebound ahead to Duncan. The Knights run.
Well, Earl Duncan's just been playing terrific basketball the last 5 games, scoring the ball right there. He shows you the point guard, the nice fish feed off to Darrell Smith, and the easy 2.
Been the concern for head coach John Calipari's backcourt play, Ed. McCoy is stripped, and here's Mike Jones up the floor. Beautiful move by Duncan in the air.
And Earl Duncan got caught right underneath the basket, but real nice athletic move, and another turnover.
Jones again causes the steal, and Duncan is fouled over the back by Giles. Earl the Pearl, they used to call him when he came out of Los Angeles, hits for his 4th point. He's a player that's saving his best basketball for the end of his career here at Rutgers. He's averaging 24 points in the last 5 games.
Well, in the second half, they can't expect Keith Hughes to put those kind of numbers on for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. But Earl Duncan, who only shot 2 for 10 in the first half, will have to get better shooting opportunities and take care of the basketball. He had a bad first half.
Duncan, what a look for Dabbs. That surprised everyone in the building, including Dabbs.
Down 2 now, UMass.
Duncan lets a long one fly. The loose ball will go to UMass.
Earl Duncan really struggling from the outside, not letting the offense flow and let him get in the offense, is taking quick shots.
Yeah, Duncan now 2 for 11 from the field.
Well, I think it went through Darrell Smith's legs and went right out of bounds. It didn't touch him. I think it's a good call by the officials.
Duncan.
Now that's a good shot by Earl Duncan to get within his range in that 15-foot with a power dribble, wide open, and nails it. Rutgers by 2.
UMass with its biggest lead of the ball game at 3.
How about the individual play by Anton Brown to flick the basketball? Duncan had a lead. Anton Brown much quicker and faster to the basketball and creates the 2 for Barbie.
Hughes back to Duncan for 3. He hits it. That's his first 3 of the ball game. ties it up at 65. Duncan is just 4 for 14 from the floor, but that was a big one there. Bob Wenzel wants the crowd into the game, and here they come.
The fans are in it at the rack.
Duncan works against Brown and commits the foul. That'll be the third personal against Anton Brown. And that will send Earl Duncan, the best free throw shooter on this Rutgers team, to the line. He'll have 2 shots.
Very difficult to stop Earl Duncan from the penetration. You just got to try to keep your body between him and the basket, but he's so strong, upper body and lower body, that Anton Brown having a difficult time keeping him out of the lane.
An opportunity to tie the game up at 74. Duncan hits at 83% from the free throw line. And after being down by 5, Rutgers has come back to tie it up. The reaction of Bob Wenzel, that takes away that threat. UMass is out of timeouts. Down by 2. It's good at the horn, and we'll go to overtime.
Barbie didn't know if he wanted to bank it or straight away. And when we have a technical on John Calipari, ill-advised at this time.
A very costly technical foul. UMass down by a point with 4:31 to play in this first overtime, and 2 foul shots coming up for the Scarlet Knights. It could have been an even poorer technical foul. I'll tell you what I mean. If UMass
had the basketball, yeah, sure. I don't think he expected to get a technical in that spot anyway. But Lenny Wirtz had enough of John Calipari, and he gave him the technical. It's a 2-point Rutgers advantage. Could be 3 if Earl Duncan can knock down the last technical.
The Scarlet Knights' best free throw shooter settles for 1 of 2. Duncan working against Brown. It'll count plus a foul.
Again, we've talked about it all afternoon. Earl Duncan extremely strong. If he gets inside that close, you must double team him because he has good inside position. John Calipari better relax or he's not going to be around long. But look at the inside. He's getting in with 6, 7 feet from the basket, using his strength, Duncan, and then using the friend, the backboard.
The foul against Anton Brown, his 5th. He is out of the ball game. Rutgers has built an 84-80 lead.
He's got time. Anton Brown is fouled out of the game. He has 45 seconds. Calipari's going to use it as a timeout till he gets Ray for Giles in the lineup. But John Calipari's got to watch it. He's still yamming away at Lenny Wirtz, the official.
Duncan completes the 3-point play, and Calipari's still working there against Lenny Wirtz. He's got to be careful. 1 more, and he's out.
Barbie's got 4 fouls, and he's trying to cover Keith Hughes.
Duncan. Darrell Smith. Nice look there by Duncan as he draws the double team in and works off to Darrell Smith. Now Duncan.
You got to help out on this penetration.
Giles finally reaches over and commits the foul.
Okay, that makes no sense. You don't let Duncan dribble the ball all around half court. If you're going to foul him then they got to use the clock earlier and foul. Right there, he's driving all the way down, around and around. He's going to go full underneath the baseline, and there's the foul.
You saw Calipari and his assistant over there, Bruiser Flint, pointing towards the scorekeeper. They had put up the incorrect score at 93-90 after the McCoy shot, and then corrected it on the fly, and that was the reason the two coaches were up.
When you put the wrong guy in the line, shoots 83%, the best free throw shooter for Syracuse. Excuse me, for Rutgers. Transfer from Syracuse.
Misses there. UMass down by 5. Once again, the Knights lead it by 5. Barbee puts it up. Duncan with the rebound, and he is fouled with 54 seconds to play in this overtime.
John Calipari saying that Tony Barbee got fouled on his shot. Might have got away with a walk first, went inside, lost the handle of the ball. 5-point Rutgers advantage. There's your walk, possibly loses the handle, no foul, and Duncan comes up with a strong rebound and gets fouled by Robinson.
Just 4 points in the first half for Duncan, now 19, make it 20 in the ball game. Our final score, it's Rutgers 103, and the University of Massachusetts 96 in overtime. Bob Wenzel's team one victory away from winning the Atlantic 10 regular season championship. So for Ed Stefan.
Now I want to tell you about the Atlantic 10. St. Joseph's and Rutgers, the number 9 seed against the top seed, but St. Joe's has given the Scarlet Knights a battle in the first half. Want to pick it up. This was just a few minutes ago. Tied at 39, the closing seconds of the first half.
Mike Jones. He has 6 points, 1 second left. Rap Curry gets it up, and it won't fall for him. And Rutgers will take a 3-point lead to the locker room on Donnell Lumpkin's long-distance tray.
So 42-39 for the Scarlet Knights. The winner of this game will get George Washington in a semifinal game. GW from 1-27 2 years ago, 1 step away now, or a couple steps away anyway, from the NCAA tournament.
There's a man that just can't believe it right now. His team is down 1, 57 seconds. He wins the regular season, and the team seeded 8th.
1-point lead, St. Joseph's, 57 seconds left in the game. And Earl Duncan starts walking it up court for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, the number 1 seeded team trying to survive. Rutgers could not get the inbounds pass in cleanly. They've lost the ball, and Dabbs has fouled Rap Curry with 45 seconds left in the game. Rap Curry with 21 points to the line, his team leading by a point.
All Brent Dabbs had to do was lob it in the backcourt. He threw it so hard and over Duncan's head, he had no chance to run it down.
It's a 2-point lead to St. Joe's now with 45 seconds to play. There is no shot clock. Rutgers out of timeout. St. Joe has 1. There you see the clock.
They want Keith Hughes down low against Brian Daly. A 1-4 set here. Duncan's going to take his man.
Duncan gives it up to Hughes, and the shot good was Dabbs, not Hughes. It was Dabbs that got the shot. Just Dabbs' 4th point of the night, and he was fouled, and now the game tied at 80 all.
Well, what they did is they had a 1-4 set. Earl Duncan with the basketball. All 4 Rutgers players down along the baseline, and they were going to get the penetration from Duncan. Duncan either would take the shot or dish it off. There's the penetration. Rap Curry goes right by him. The good dish to Dabbs. Dabbs gets fouled, has a 3-point opportunity, and they can take the lead. Rutgers, it's 80 all.
Daly trying to get it inbounds. Does to Bernard, or rather Rap Curry. Almost lost it. Now back to Bernard Blunt. 9 seconds left in the game. Rap Curry deep on the wing. 6 seconds left. Bernard Blunt in the circle. Pops the jumper. Off the rim. Rebound to Keith Hughes for Rutgers, and we're going to overtime for the 3rd time in this tournament, the 2nd time today. The number 8 seed will take the number 1 seed to overtime.
St. Joseph's forces Rutgers to overtime. They won an OT game yesterday against Rhode Island.
Here it is again. He's working against Duncan.
A lot of shaking and baking going on against Earl Duncan. Earl Duncan's had a great game, 31 points against Rap Curry. Rap Curry delivers when he needs it.
Cruzen's in the game to guard the inbounds. All 4 players are down court now.
It's going to go to Keith Hughes high.
Hughes and Duncan are above the 3-point line. Dabbs fires to Duncan. He's going to get a shot off. It's got a chance, but it came up short, and St. Joe's has upset the number 1 seeded Rutgers team.
You've got another close one. It's been an exciting afternoon. Let's send you out to Atlanta. Brad Nessler and Mimi Griffin inside 4 minutes to play. Arizona State with the lead.
From the Omni in Atlanta, a 2-point game with 3:41 to play. Arizona State down 6 points at halftime, has rallied back and had led by 4 on a couple of occasions over Rutgers Scarlet Knights in this half. And now as Bob Wenzel looks on, he hopes that his team can draw even here, Mimi.
Brad, the difference in this second half has been composure. You would think that Rutgers, being the older, more experienced team, would keep their composure, but they haven't. It's been the younger Arizona State team. Earl Duncan, in particular for Rutgers, really lost his composure, was talking trash a little bit, got a technical foul called on him, and it really shifted the momentum.
Duncan got the tee. We're going to get a look at it here.
And we talked about talking trash. Here's a prime example of it. You can see he's not even trying to defend. He's just trying to get in his ear.
Meanwhile, the steadying force has been senior Keith Hughes, who buries both free throws, 19 points, another tie. Our 4th of the half, our 7th of the game, and we're deadlocked at 70. Eight ties in this ball game, 5 this half, and with 2:17 to go from the Omni, deadlocked at 72. The game, as you look at it, the timeouts remaining, each team with a foul to give, and Rutgers with a basketball. Who does Rutgers want to handle it here, Mimi?
In the clutch, you got to give it to Keith Hughes. Or Earl Duncan as he makes the spinning move. I was going to make the point that Earl Duncan has been a little bit frustrated offensively. And yet, when in the clutch, he was able to make that shot.
30.8 seconds left at the Omni in Atlanta. Arizona State clinging to a 3-point lead. The other New Jersey team with 1:04 to go still has an outside shot at the Longhorns. We're going to try to bring you the end of that one, too, in the Midwest round 1. Mimi, who's going to take the 3-pointer if that's what Rutgers decides to do?
Brad, there's 2 different questions. Who's going to take it and who's going to make it? You can see from the three-point shooting percentages who can shoot it, but Duncan, I guarantee, is going to take it.
He's 3 for 4 today from outside the arc. There it goes. And he was fouled. Now inside, just inside the line. It's a 2-point shot. 2 free throws coming up for Duncan.
His second personal.
Smith, the man that fouled him. Arizona State, the youthful Sun Devils. Can they hold on and beat the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, who have the age and experience? The winner goes on to play Arkansas. Duncan hasn't missed a free throw today, 4 straight. Now the strategy comes in with 21.5 seconds to go. Down by 2.
If Rutgers has to foul in this situation, the guard to foul is Steven Smith, but he is not in the game anymore. Yes, he is. Collins and Wheeler are both better free throw shooters than Smith.
Let's see who they foul. Wheeler got 3. He's going to eat some clock for one thing, and finally they found Taylor Wheeler, and it's an intentional foul on Hughes. 2 shots coming up.
And it should be an intentional, Brad, because he made no attempt at the ball. He grabbed his waist. You got to know the rules in this situation. I'll bet he is glad he made the trip, though, Brad.
You know it. I'm glad we're here. Missed it. And Rutgers with a chance to win. Under 10. Duncan's been hot from three-point range. They only need 2 to tie to send it to overtime. And now we've got 2.5 seconds left.
And you can see the drive here by Carter. Carter takes the ball in strong.
And timeout Rutgers, their last one. They trail by 2. 2.5 seconds to go, Mimi Griffin. Arizona State by 2. Who does Rutgers go to?
Ball has to get into Keith Hughes' hands for the shot, Brad.
Hughes with 21 points. If there's ever a play here with an inbounds pass, it's got to be now. But Arizona State with a steal. And Faulkner came up with the play of the day. A seesaw battle between the Scarlet Knights and the Sun Devils. And Arizona State wins it by 3, 79-76. And they advance now in the Southeast region.